Three, two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, and today we are going to be going on about a film that our good friend Boris brought to our attention. Uh, Boris, why don't you tell us a little bit about the film that you suggested for us to watch and come on about?
So this time it's a movie from the year 2000. It's called The Gift,
One.
directed by Sam Raimi and starring Kate Blanchett, Katie Holmes, Keanu Reeves, and several others. Um,
And do you know
so
what Sam
it's
Raimi has directed before?
uh, actually I'm not sure.
Spider-Man!
No, well, yeah, but Evil Dead
Oh
Yes,
series.
Spider-Man and
Spider-Man,
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead,
Oh
Xena, Hercules. Got it.
oh
Well,
yeah.
Xena and Hercules is the best of all
I
of them.
I did know those
What?
things, but never really paid attention to who the director was. So yeah, I'm sorry.
And I don't normally pay attention to director, but this time I actually did know. I really like Sam Raimi.
Fair enough.
Probably one of my favorite directors if I had to choose.
Mm,
Okay.
so uh, let's see what IMDb actually says about the movie. Uh,
Oh
a
God.
fort uh, a fortune teller with extrasensory perception is asked to help find a young woman who has mysteriously disappeared. So is this the first time you guys watched this movie, and what were your first impressions? Let's start with Tammy.
No, it wasn't the first time David and I watched it before. So, yeah, I thought it was kind of trippy, it takes quite a bit. Takes a little bit before you finally get that twist that's coming, or you know that there's a twist that's coming. Um, but
Unless your name is Ron.
huh?
Unless your name is Ron.
Then there's the characters are definitely unique, all in their own way, and yeah, Keanu's character just is totally different than what I normally expect out of him. And,
Right?
but no, it was enjoyable. If not, I wouldn't have watched it again, even though you put in for it.
Uh, Sorry, did you say that you would or would not watch it again?
I said it was enjoyable, or I would not have watched it again, even though you put in for it.
Oh,
Because
well,
this was like you putting it up there was my second time watching it. But if I didn't
oh,
like it the first time, I wouldn't have watched it a second
I get it.
time.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Uh, and what about you, Kroll?
This is the first time watch. I found out about the movie through my sister. I guess she was watching using my Amazon Prime and she found it and I watched it. Um, I think she told me she watched it on Amazon Prime. I kind of forgot until I went to watch it and I'm like, why does it say continue watching? There was like 4 minutes left. I'm like, Oh, she must watch it on my Amazon Prime. Okay. So, yeah, she told me about the movie. Oh, she called it The Gifted. So she got the name slightly wrong. Gifted is actually the name of a TV show that was about mutants. X Factor, I believe. I don't think they used that name in the show, but I believe the team was the X Factor, or who they became. It was a good show. But anyways, this movie was nothing like that. Yeah, she does not like being called a fortune teller. Um, why I don't know, but whatever. She doesn't like being called a fortune teller. Um, she
Mm,
does have a problem saying she's gifted or the ZSP or whatever. So she doesn't like being called a fortune teller. And of course, she uses tarot cards to, well, actually, strange tarot cards. I don't think I've seen tarot cards look quite like that before. Um,
oh, yeah, I was kind of wondering what kind
yeah.
of cards those were because I
Oh, they're
do.
definitely tarot cards. But because they're not playing cards, so they're tarot cards. You know, they were just really unique. I mean, I've seen all kinds of different kinds of tarot cards,
Uh,
hundreds. I just never saw that kind yet. But there's all kinds,
uh,
right?
yeah,
Uh,
but I mean, all other tarot cards I've seen, okay, yeah, they have had
the
different
big
designs
pictures,
and all
yeah.
that, but the cards had the same meanings, right? The same. Uh,
I'm sure these do too. It's just it goes just by the symbols instead of by the picture, which no most of them have the picture. So yeah, they're definitely a unique brand of tarot cards.
oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, I really enjoyed the movie, but right in the beginning, you know, when I knew that Katie Holmes was the one that was gonna end up getting killed because my sister blabbed it. I mean, it wasn't that big of a spoiler because basically what the movie's about. But so when I saw her and saw she was fancy of the principal or Reichert or whoever he is, um, I was like, he's probably gonna get blamed. I'm like, or he probably did, And more as the movie went along, I was kind of like, yeah, because I mean, I knew it wasn't Keanu Reeves' character. He's a dickhead. He deserves to get beat down by the end of his life and a scumbag, but he's not a murderer. You know,
Yeah, it would
like
have
she
been.
said, to her his wife. He's just a redneck who's a redneck something, and he couldn't kill anybody. It's the truth, and even she couldn't stand him, and is glad he's rotting in jail, but knew he's in jail for the wrong reasons, and she went and uncovered it, even though it means that scumbag is going to get out of jail. For a brief second, I thought maybe it was the wife, but that was a very brief second before it was revealed that I had been right all along.
uh,
So,
Yeah, throughout the major part of the movie, I was actually suspecting the DA guy.
nah, I ain't suspecting. He just stuffed his penis in her. She
Yeah,
got
but
around. She was a slut. Um, but yeah, I uh, I really liked the movie. I like how they had the Aunt May as a very realistic ghost, and then of course Buddy. Um, when he comes back as a ghost is very cool. Um, Ghosts can't really interact with people in most ghost stories or in real life, but in this ghost story they can. So just like in Ghost, I guess.
yeah, and they can somehow bring physical items too.
Yeah, that's only in certain stories, not in real life.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So I'm done. That was my first impression.
Uh, okay, and what about you, buddy?
Well, I actually saw this movie in the theater. Um, I had a mentor that was uh, basically by law, um, when I got in trouble as a delinquent, um, court ordered to take me places and whatnot. He found out movies were a thing to get me out and doing stuff, and this was one of the ones that he took me to,
Oh, wow.
and I saw it. And the first time I saw it, it it was a great movie. I mean, I liked how weird it went. Um, I liked the twist. I liked the people involved in it. Um, but it's after I've seen it a couple of times that I kind of feel, to me, the more I see it, the less the twist is kind of a surprise to me. You know.
Well,
Uh,
duh.
but it's the same way I feel about The Sixth Sense. It's a great movie the first time you see it, but once you've seen it, then the twist is kind of like, eh, okay, I
Well,
know
it's
what it
not a
is.
twist anymore when you know the truth.
Uh, but I do enjoy that this is like one of the only movies that you ever see Keanu Reeves act like an extreme, like total abusive asshole.
It's also the only movie that I've ever seen where you get to see Kate Holmes' tits, and she has a
Yeah,
nice, and she has a nice hair.
at least until she gets shut up in Tom Cruise's secretive relationship while he's under Scientology.
Mm,
But yeah, because I think it was shortly after this that Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise divorced, and then Katie Holmes and him had a kid, and then Tom Cruise was like heavily like into Scientology, and he was in the news because of that. And yeah, but that being said, do enjoy going back to the movie, um, and I get a kick how now that I have seen it again, I got a kick trying to figure out who Danny Elfman played, and he played the fiddler that was in her dream, um, which was kind of cool. Danny Elfman um, is was the lead singer of Oingo Boingo, and he's also a huge musician in movie soundtrack history. Uh, in fact, there's a lot of films that Danny Elfman is behind, and his entire family is like involved, and it's kind of cool to see him show up as like this fiddler. So, um, but other than that, I do enjoy. I mean, it's anything dealing with Louisiana has always been like dramatic and traumatic, and often
It's not in Louisiana.
well, it really fucking seems like it.
Kentucky.
and where was it actually? I'm not sure.
Kentucky, I believe.
Kentucky. Oh.
Well, it seems more like it's in like a New Orleans type town instead of
Not to me. Second I started watching, I'm like, oh, it's like a good old boy movie. Because they didn't give two shits that she told him, who told the deputy who broke into her house and why. He didn't care because he was a friend, so he was a good old boy. Oh, I knew it was a southern state. Oh, I'm sorry, it was Georgia, not Kentucky.
It just felt to me like more like
I mean, the
bayou
swamp
kind
areas looked a little bit like Louisiana, but yeah, Louisiana's nothing about the swamps. Florida has it.
So I guess it is in Kentucky. It just feels to me like New Orleans. But at the time when I saw this, I felt like it was New Orleans, like it was like out in the bayou boonies, you know. So and that's what I took from it. I didn't think of it as a Kentuckian movie or a filmed in Kentucky movie. So, but that being said, I did enjoy the movie, and I do enjoy seeing the twist again. So, how about you, Boris?
Yeah, this was the first time I watched the movie, and it was really interesting. I didn't see the twist coming at all. I did have my suspects who could have done it. Like I said, when Keanu Reeves' character was suspected, I knew it would be too obvious if it was him. And speaking of which, yeah, this was the first time I saw Keanu Reeves as a bad guy, and he really did it well. Although, what surprises me even more than him playing a bad guy is that he played a character who had such a short time on screen. Because he usually has more important roles in his movies. Well, okay, this role was important story-wise, but he wasn't present on screen for too much time. Um, and otherwise, yeah, like I said, I didn't predict correctly who would be the killer throughout a major part of the movie. I was suspecting David Duncan, the DA guy, but yeah, apparently it wasn't him. There were some questions kind of left unanswered for me. Like now, when you mentioned the fiddler, aside from the dream, we never saw him outside of that dream and didn't find out the meaning of his character or who he was
The
or
meaning
why.
of his character was just to have a fucked up dream. That was the meaning. And when the music went in a downward spiral, that's when things were going to get worse. So,
Mm, yeah.
in a way, I kind of took it like the devil went down to Georgia.
Oh, interesting. Mm, so
But
uh, yeah, I did enjoy the movie. It was pretty good. I'm glad I chose this one.
good.
Mm, so let's see what we have about the plot. Uh, so at the very beginning. Oh yeah, it's the town Brixton in Georgia. Georgia, interesting. Uh, so we get to know the main character Annie Wilson, who is a clairvoyant fortune teller, and yes, uh, we see her have a vision of her deceased grandmother who bring some fruits, which is I forgot what fruit it was, but it was the first time in this movie that we see ghosts bringing physical items, which
Well, first, before that happens, we have
Yeah, that wasn't. There was a lot that happened before that.
we are introduced to her as a teller first, because we
Not doing
don't
fortune
realize
telling,
she
she's
has
doing tarot
clairvoyance.
cards.
oh yeah, yeah, in the opening credits we see those cards first.
Yeah, and those cards are different than the normal cards that you normally see. In
Tarot cards, and yes, me
those
and
are
Bob
what
already discussed that. Tarot cards.
I said, tarot cards. But anyways, those tarot cards are different than the normal tarot cards you normally see in movies.
Very different.
They have different shapes and different designs. Like I think that the normal tarot card deck that you see in most films with tarot cards is actually a deck called the Rider Tarot
Uh,
deck.
yeah.
Oh, Flo's talks. Well, yeah.
I actually have a deck like that. If you give me a moment, I can show it.
I have a deck like that too.
The
Which-
Witch's Tarot, I think, looks way better.
Oh, you think hers look better?
No, the Witch's Tarot looks way better.
Ah,
That's what it's called. She's not a witch. She's just got ESP.
well, Donnie definitely thinks that she's a witch.
Well, Donnie's a stupid redneck.
Yeah, I have that exact. I don't have the box anymore to mine. Mine are in a Zippy bag, but I have, yes, that. Pick mine up for 50 cents at Sam Goody.
Yeah.
And now they're worth more.
Whew,
But yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So she has several local clients, and one of them just so happens to be a mildly mental. I think he works as a auto guy who fixes cars for a living.
Yeah.
I guess you would call him a grease monkey.
I tell you, he's one of those people that you see in every movie, and you're like, "Oh, I know him," but you don't know his friggin' name. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, "What? I still didn't know his name, even after looking it up."
Well, I know him to be a working with John Cusack a lot.
He's played
the guy who
psychopath
plays
before. He played Loonies before.
I've seen him in Gone in 60 Seconds. I've also seen him in several other movies myself, and every movie that I've seen him in, he often seems to play a special person.
Yes, he's very good at it. Typecasting, or is it acting? So I looked it up. I guess they are called ESP cards or Zener cards. Zener. The cards that they used in the movie. So they weren't tarot cards. They were just very similar to tarot cards.
And Buddy seems to have some daddy issues that she seems to
You
be
think?
working out. with
You
him.
think?
That's an understatement.
Right?
You also get a very young Hilary Swank in here in an abusive relationship with her.
Damn,
Uh,
she got to be married to Canoe Reeves, and I bet she didn't enjoy it.
I believe the first time you actually see her is she's got a really black and purple.
She actually looks really pretty in this movie too.
Well, later on, yeah.
Yeah.
She almost
Even with the black eye, she looks better than she did in The Karate Kid.
She almost reminds me of like Faruka Balk in this movie, but I know it's not.
What the fuck?
Just because of her goth look.
Yeah. Okay, so all women that have goth looks look exactly the same.
No,
Okay.
the way she looked to me reminded me of the way that Faruka Balk looked like in The Craft. Just saying.
You're fucking nuts, but okay.
I'm not nuts.
You are
That's
too.
how she looked.
Next, you're gonna tell me your mom had you tested.
But you can take it from here, Boris. As far as the relationship goes between, I believe, what was her name?
Who the girl that got killed?
No.
Valerie?
Talking about Valerie.
Valerie is Keanu
Valerie
Reeves' wife.
Christy Swanson.
Valerie Barksdale and Donnie.
Yeah, she was the next Karate Kid in other movies.
What did you think about her character and his character?
She was the kid. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I'll go ahead. You first.
I was going to say she was a typical example of, okay, I don't know the exact term for it. It's not the Stockholm syndrome. That's
Dumbass.
specifically for.
That's the word I was gonna go with.
Yo-yo syndrome.
Sorry, Dave. What did you say?
I would call it the yo-yo syndrome.
Yo-yo.
Yeah.
He doesn't get that, dude, Dave.
Let's see. Yo-yo syndrome.
It's not a real thing, Boris. He's making
it's
it
not
up.
a real thing.
He's saying she's a yo-yo for staying with her husband, but you don't understand what the yo-yo means, so it's not gonna help you.
Yeah, when you play with a yo-yo, you let it go and it comes back. You throw it away and it comes back. Well, she can never leave whatever relationship she's in because she's so batteredly in love that she cannot think or feel beyond.
I don't think she's in love. It's dependence.
Yeah, she's never been around anyone else or
Even,
stood on
like
her
when
own
she
two
went
feet.
over there after she got arrested, she's like, I've never been alone. I don't know what to do. And blah blah blah. You know, that's all it is. And she's just so fucking dependent on him that she can't function without him.
Well, and Donnie's cowed her into believing that she can never be without him. So.
Obviously he didn't help the situation. I mean, he put that thoughts in her head too, but she certainly didn't try to stand up for herself at all.
No. And that's how some relationships are.
Well, I've known plenty of women that were in them, and I also know that even when they do get out, they go back too. Not always, but a lot.
Unfortunately, yeah, which must admit is a mindset I cannot quite wrap my head around. But okay, yeah, I guess I haven't experienced it, so I
I'm
guess I
sure there's a
wouldn't
technical
know.
term, I just don't know the name of it.
Uh, uh, I just know that if someone was by any possible means oppressing me, I would want to destroy them, not stay with them.
You'd
Uh,
say, unfortunately, there are many people who say that, and yet they get themselves into all kinds of relationships that are just that way.
Toxic
Tammy,
and
what
abusive.
did you think about Valerie?
I was gonna go next, but go ahead.
oh, sorry, Crow, I interrupted you too.
I know, that's why I said I was gonna go
All
next.
right, Cole, you go ahead.
As I was gonna say way back when, she's, basically your typical kind of dumbass. I mean, I get it's not love; it's a codependency. It's she's completely dependent on him, and obviously he says all kinds of things to bring her down, but she allows it to happen. She allows him to get into her head. She allows him to abuse her. I'm not saying she deserves it. She doesn't, but she doesn't do anything to help herself or help herself out of the situation. So she's just kind of a dumb bitch, to put it bluntly. You know, like I said, she looked decent as far as looks go. Um, Usually she's not very pretty in most of the films I've seen her in. From my taste, anyways, she did kind of look pretty in this one. Not when she was beat up. But that was just kind of a joke. But yeah, but the character, I just she played her great. I mean, she did a great job of playing the hapless victim that can't help herself, whatever. So yeah, she definitely did a splendid job as an actress. But the character is just I've known plenty of women like her though. And as far as him, yeah, he was a complete douchebag, complete, your typical fucking redneck I can't stand, stupid asshole who, doesn't understand anything, wants to say it's the devil and everything else and call her things that he knows absolutely nothing about. And just your typical dumbass redneck that likes to fucking do whatever the hell he wants to do, cheat on his wife, beat the hell out of her, make her feel little, and then comes around bullying her, threatening little kids several times. I
oh
mean, he
yeah.
like I said, he deserved to get his ass beat to the inch of his friggin' life easily. I knew he didn't kill, you know, but that doesn't mean he didn't belong in jail. He should have been in jail quite a few times for for the attack, the breaking and entering, the physical grabbing, the kid and everything. I'll tell you one of my favorite scenes later, but yeah, he's in it.
Uh,
But
yeah,
you know,
honestly, if he had
yeah,
stayed in
Keanu
jail,
Reeves played such a great guy. That I mean, I thought it was so great when I saw my John Bon Jovi playing an abusive asshole, but I think Keanu Reeves did even better at it. Um, and from what I've heard about both of them, is they're very nice people in real life, especially Keanu Reeves. I've heard all kinds of good stories about him. So yeah, I definitely don't think it's any tight casting at all with that one. Um, you know, uh, he's just a really good actor. He's really shown his chops a lot, and there's some people that don't like him, that doesn't think he has range. But I don't think they've seen this movie. They think that because he really does have some great fucking range, and he could play the idiot headbanger, you know, um, that you gotta love. He can play the martial arts, bullet dodging, superhero matrix, um, other superhero type in speed and stuff, and all the other movies he's done, action or whatever. But this is more of a drama, a psychological drama thriller, and definitely not his wheelhouse at all. And he killed it. He definitely was awesome in the role. I definitely hated his character. Exactly what I was meant to do. You're not meant to like his character at all. I guess unless you're a redneck. You might be a redneck if you like his character.
Uh,
Sorry, I had to. Uh, um, but anyways, yeah, I really enjoyed the movie, and yeah, those two characters were definitely characters, that's for sure. All right, all right.
yeah.
I'm done. Go ahead, Tammy.
Well, as far as her putting up with the abuse, it, it's not that easy to get out of those relationships as people think it is. It's not her being stupid. They just
Mm,
I beg to differ.
Well,
a lot of women that are in those relationships, it's not a matter of them being stupid. They don't think that
I do admit. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
they don't think that there's anything else out there for them, or they think that this is how things are supposed to go, or according to how they've been brought up, they think that this is how things are supposed to be. So it's not necessarily that they're being stupid, you know.
mm,
So I I mean, yeah, she played the part really good, but on the note of on the serious note of that, it's not people being stupid. Um, Keanu, I think he did a good job of being a total asshole. Yeah, I think he did a really good job of that. Um, and he deserved to get his butt kicked. Definitely for how he acted, but he did a good job. I mean, it was definitely not something that I was used to seeing him, you know, how he be. But
uh, yeah. And I must say about Valerie, although yeah, there is a psychological aspect to how she was, but to her defense, it was actually a small town, and Daddy was on good terms with the cops, and the
I,
truth
you,
was,
you, you, you stole the words out of my mouth, Boris.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, she definitely lived in a good old boy town where Donnie was friends with the deputy, so she probably wouldn't have been able to get any help from authorities. And in that small town, they probably didn't have women's shelters and other things like they have in bigger cities and things like that. So you guys might be right there that she might have been more stuck than someone who was in a bigger city that might not have been as stuck. So yeah, I didn't think about that before until you guys until you mentioned where she was at, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, she's in Georgia, good old boy town, and yeah, and I already pointed out how Donnie was good friends with the asshole deputy. So yeah, you guys are probably right there. Um, in her defense, she probably didn't really have a way out. And yeah, she was definitely tortured into believing that even if she got out, there was nothing for her anywhere else. So she just put up with it, you know.
uh,
Yeah, it's a tragic,
yeah,
it's
and
it's a horrible situation. But the thing is, though, sometimes they do get out, and then they still go back, you know. And that's what it's like. I just don't get. Because it's always the same. They leave, they get out, and the husband or the boyfriend, whatever, finds them. Please, baby, come home. Please, baby, please. I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. I'll never hate
uh,
you. Please come home. And they do, and they believe it. And then it happens again. Why? Because there's something psychological wrong with him, where he has to be in control of everything and everybody, and he can't control most things because he doesn't want to change himself. and you can't change other people. So he keeps trying to control the one person he can control, his wife or his girlfriend, because they let him. He's just a tiny little man in a big world trying to fucking have some control over whatever he can, and that's just a psychological truth.
Mm, yeah, and she knew that he could get away with a lot unless he did something like apparently killing someone.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could be a good old boy, but when you murder someone, there's not much they're gonna do about it. I mean, it's like they kind of did that in Smallville, only they kind of turned on Jonathan Kent and made it look like he was a murderer, and it was really the good old boy sheriff that did it, and he framed him. So yeah, it was fucked up. But back to he was a good old boy. And, he arrested him, but he's the one who fucking framed him. His friend. With friends like that, who needs enemies?
Definitely.
The messed up thing is the person that was killed never even got killed. Lionel Luthor, Lex Luthor's father in the show. So yeah. Well, he does get killed later, but that's the point.
There are some other characters that are introduced to us. There is the best friend of our fortune teller, who
He
seems to
has
be.
serious psychological issues with his daddy.
Uh, well, I think that was, at least as far as I could see, it looked like a combination of PTSD and some superstitious OCD.
Yeah, he was fucking nuts. I like his character though. I liked his character, especially when he stood up for the kid. That I really loved. That was my favorite scene. I'll talk about it again later, but yeah, I liked his character. I mean, yeah, he was nuts, and he was definitely like a little scary at times, but I don't know. He definitely cared for her, and he respected her, even though there was times he yelled and got a little physical, and but he was definitely he was crazy. He kind of belonged in a hospital, you know. But
Mm.
Well, he lit his father on fire.
yeah,
Well,
I know,
well,
I
the
know.
father deserved it, honestly. I was glad he did that to him.
Well,
What? Well, oh, I mean, we're not after that. Let's get to that scene, and then we'll talk about that scene because that scene is so much to talk about. There's a lot to talk about in that little scene right there. There's
Uh,
so much like what the fuck in that scene. Um, yeah. So we'll talk about that scene later. Uh,
uh, true.
now, I mean, you can obviously know that he got whipped by the father. You definitely know that. You know. Um, I've seen someone get whipped, so I know that's definitely a real thing. But obviously, there had to be definitely some fucking sexual shit going on too, and you figure that out when you say he was thinks about his daddy and plays with himself. So
Uh,
okay, so Annie Wilson has been married before, and her father and her husband actually died. Um,
who?
so yeah,
and his husband.
Annie's husband actually died, and I think it was not
Oh yeah,
that
we know
far from.
a year earlier.
Yeah,
She
I
begged him
think
not to go to work, and the place blew up.
yep.
Spudo.
And a lot of people in town would probably talk about the fact that she's a fortune teller, and yet she couldn't tell when he was going to die or
Actually,
whatnot.
she did. She did know
Yeah,
he was gonna die.
yeah, she tried to
She
stop
begged
him
him not to
from,
go to work.
but he wouldn't listen.
Can't keep a man from his job.
So She does have that in her background, and her friend, which I realize I've seen her friend before. She actually,
Fear the Walking Dead.
Ye-
She's the main.
yeah,
She's one of the main characters in the beginning of Fear the Walking Dead. She's like the main character in the first few seasons. Can't think of the name of her character at the top of my head.
oh, she's in Fear the Walking Dead.
I just said that
You, I haven't seen Fear the Walking
3
Dead yet.
times. She's the main character of Fear the Walking Dead. Pretty much
Okay.
the main character in the first few seasons.
Madison Clark, it looks like.
That's it. I knew it was an M. I just couldn't think of it. I haven't
But-
watched that in a while. I gotta get caught up someday when I get back to watching TV.
Well, I've got up to the 7th season of it now. I'll have
No,
to-
I'm talking about Fear the Walking Dead.
That's what I'm
Walking
talking.
Dead, I need to finish the final season.
I'm up to date on that one.
What?
I'm up to date on The Walking Dead.
I just said you saw 7 seasons.
I have up to the 7th season of Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, you just haven't watched anything.
Correct.
Watched them. How many seasons are there? Are they still going?
They're working on the final season as we speak.
Oh, that's right. I remember you told me before.
The 8th season, I believe.
Okay.
And then
Well,
they
tracking
just
this shit.
started. They just started the new season with Negan. So, but getting back to this film,
Dude, did I not tell you I was behind in the fucking show? That's not funny.
what?
What do you mean, what? You tell me that Negan's now in Fear the Walking Dead and you spoil it for me?
He's in the new Walking Dead. Yes,
What do you...
I believe him and Maggie are.
Oh, you talk about the new show between him and Maggie. All right, never mind.
Yeah,
I knew that was coming. Read
yeah.
about that
I
like 2
believe
years
it's
ago.
got 4 or 5 episodes out now.
Oh, I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah,
That was,
it's behind
did
AMC.
the Carol and Daryl show come out yet?
No.
No, that should come out first.
But in any case,
What's the name of that show with Negan? I can't remember the name of it. They said it a couple years ago when I read it.
let's see.
They had a cool name and then they changed it. I like the first name better.
Walking Dead, Dead City.
Yeah, it had a better name before. Can't remember what it was.
But yeah.
Anyway, back to this movie.
We keep getting off track. Sorry, guys. But we have a teacher, which this is kind of weird because this guy, I remember him.
He wasn't a teacher. He's either a principal, vice principal, or the psychiatrist, or something. I don't think he's the school. What do you call
maybe a
him?
school psychologist.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because I think the reason why she comes in is because
Her kid
her
was
kid-
dying to fight again.
yeah, her kid keeps acting up, and that's another thing. Things on the home front on Annie Wilson's and aren't
Annie
going.
Wilson, really?
Yeah, that's her name.
Misery.
Yeah, I was reminded of that too, but I think
Yeah, Annie Wilson was the name of her like the character in Misery.
in Misery, I think the last name was Wilkes rather than Wilson. But
Yeah,
it was
it was.
Wikipedia, let's see. to make sure. It says Annie Wilkes.
Yep.
Wilkes.
Yep.
Shut up, Boris. Who asked you? I'm kidding. I guess I was wrong.
But it is similar. I was reminded of Misery too.
I didn't even know her last name until Dave just said it now, and it made me think of her.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Annie Wilson's family. Well, it's still reeling from the death of the husband and father. So I mean, there is even a point where the son comes in and it was like, why haven't we even seen our father's grave? And
See,
she's
I
like,
have an issue with that. I have a very big issue with that because when she was in the office talking to him, he wanted to give her a card to a therapist for the kid. He's oh, he don't need that. He can talk to me, okay? And then he's like, well, Willie, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that was her choice. She's the mom, right? But then, at that moment, he wanted to talk to her. She sent him back to bed. Like, I know bed is important, but at that fucking moment, she should have talked to her son. Like,
Yeah.
that was I have a huge issue with that scene. Like whoever wrote that should be smacked upside the head. Because she's a good mother, I think, and I don't think she would have sent him back to bed. That was a horrible, horrible thing for to have her send him back to bed instead of talking to him when he's finally opening up to her.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sorry, I had to go off on a tangent on that one.
I kind of thought the same.
but yeah, so there is that. But this school psychologist, is actually supposed to be married to, was it the mayor? The mayor's daughter?
No, he was just a rich guy.
Okay, just a rich guy, no senator
Yeah,
or anything like that.
he owned something. I don't remember what they said. He owned something.
So Katie Holmes plays this little rich girl who, at first, you think that she is like this cute little debutante that the school teacher is marrying.
I thought
At
she was
least
a
up
slut.
until we find out that she
I
is
don't like
sleeping around with every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
I like Kitty Holmes, but I didn't like her character from the beginning.
Did you say you did like her character or did
I
not?
didn't.
Oh, and how come you disliked her even before knowing her secrets?
She just came off as a snooty bitch.
Even as an actress.
No, the character. I
Ah.
like the actress. I like the stuff she does. Didn't like this character. I mean, she probably played the character the way she was supposed to play the character. A snooty bitch.
Mhm.
Did a good job. I do not like her. So I don't like snooty bitches.
And I believe our, which, spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, because we always spoil the shit out of these films. I feel like it's at this a moment that I think that the school teacher is actually aware of of her sleeping around. Now that I've seen this again, you know.
You think?
Yeah, that's what I think. Like, he's not stupid.
Huh.
Well, I think at the party is when he becomes aware. Yeah.
I think he knew before that.
Yeah, I think he knew before that too. But
Well, I think he becomes really aware at the party.
yeah, but that being said, there is kind of a little bit of a romance going on, but at least in I
Their
think I
minds.
think I think there's definitely some pheromones going on between Annie and the school psychologist guy.
Yeah.
Like I know he's flirting with her and she's kind of flirting with him. But I also know on the one hand, Donnie Barksdale is starting to get upset with Annie for hanging out with his wife and telling her things. And it gets so bad that he threatens her kids. He threatens her over the phone. She threatens him back, and there's some back and forth between them.
The phone thing was much later.
Still, it did happen, and it did happen before the trial even started.
Well,
So,
duh. He was in jail. We couldn't call her when he was in jail.
Yeah.
well, and there is a girl that the girl that the school teacher is going to get married to. Well, she ends up going missing. In fact, the father thinks that she's run off.
No, I think she got kidnapped.
That wasn't what he thought at first.
He thought she got kidnapped.
The father thought so, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah.
You remember correctly. The fiance thought she ran off. Well, that's what he said he thought. Of course, he knew the truth. You know, he was pretending.
Correct. And I do believe that the moment that you were talking about with Buddy happened where the kids, the one son, I think it was the middle kid, he was walking home, and
no, he walked out from home to the mailbox because I don't know, he was going to do something for his mom.
And Donnie Barksdale was in the truck with his buddy and warned him.
And that buddy deserved to get smacked upside the head too.
Yeah. I do like how Buddy took a bat or something like that and just
crowbar.
started.
He took a crowbar
And just started whacking his truck.
Just smashes the windows and everything.
And when he put the gun up to his head, he was like, "Shoot
Go
me!
ahead,
Shoot me!"
shoot me, go ahead. And that's when the dumbass redneck finally drove away.
Yep.
You think he would have drove away when the crazy motherfucker was hitting his truck with the crowbar, but of course he should have fucking never pulled over in the first place. But that's not the point. Even stupid rednecks should know when to be smart.
Yeah, that's kind of an early sign that even though Donnie is a dick.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, Donnie was fucking nuts. But I love that scene, and I really loved him for that scene. I was 100% behind Donnie, not Donnie, I mean Buddy in that scene. Now, the first few times to call him Buddy, I thought she just called him Buddy because they were like buddies, Yeah, my buddy. I didn't realize it was his name. Then I realized that. I'm like, oh, he is Buddy. Okay.
Yeah.
the night that supposedly the girl went missing, she had a dream though. Annie did, of someone
So
strangling her,
of being choked.
and
Yeah.
it looked like it was the girl's father because of the rings on the hands. Uh, if you look at the
Yeah,
father's,
I never noticed that. I thought the dream was of Donnie. Actually, I was wrong on that one. You know, but that's what I thought it was. I never noticed
Ye-
the rings
y-
though.
yeah, actually, I thought the same.
you thought that she was drowning.
No,
No, being
when
choked by
Annie
the.
had a nightmare that someone was strangling her to death, I thought the person in that nightmare was Donnie
Yeah,
because uh, because of what was happening between him and her.
yeah. I thought it was a real dream, like a real nightmare, not a prophetic dream that's gonna come true. Just a nightmare that a normal person would have. And to
Yeah.
be clear, anyone, I do not think that people who have ESP are normal. But I have ESP and I'm not normal, so I think it's a good thing. Just clarify that.
Well, and yeah, so she has this initial dream, which she kind of just, I think she just kind of shrugs that off until she has the next dream, which
Well, if you notice in the dream when she wakes up and looks at the clock, it was the same time same time of death for Katie's home character too, which we find out later on. But I knew it was gonna have something was gonna have to do with the time because they focused in on the time clock, what time it was in the morning. Um, it was 2:30 in the morning, so they really focused in on that. So I knew that was gonna play something into in the end.
Hmm.
I didn't guess it was the time of death for some reason, but I should have.
but she she does have another dream, which I believe it's this dream where she dreams of white flowers. She dreams of uh, the girl's body in chains and near a pond with a fence. And she wakes
And hung up, choked, naked.
well,
I
and this is like
had in there
after
too.
this is after the sheriff and the father and the fiance comes
Yeah,
by.
yeah, because they wanted her to read, and she saw nothing then. But of course, she had an audience, and the cops being an asshole as usual, So yeah, they were actually in the room with the killer.
Yep. So
He did such a great job of being the
the victim.
broken-hearted fiance that lost his fiance that and he just wants real justice and he can't sleep thinking the real murder is out there and everything. I mean, the actor is a great actor. He's in a lot of stuff. Um, he was in a role where he played like a kind of a bum where he just kind of lucked into a role with it. He became like he was acting as a lawyer, but he was really doing it like he was an actor. And I can't remember the name of the show, but it was a good show. I liked it. Unfortunately, it lasted like a season, but it was a good show. Um, he ended up like liking the job, so he like was staying, even though he wasn't technically a lawyer. He was just an actor. He was an actor acting as a lawyer. I think it was like his brother owned it or something, and he went in to help him like to do some paperwork for him, or whatever. Like he wasn't supposed to do anything major legal, and instead he like just takes over. I think
Hmm.
so. I can't remember the name of the show. It was really good. But anyways, yeah, he's a good actor. But his character was a good actor. You know, his character was acting as if he was the victim. Well, another victim because
Uh,
his beautiful fiance um,
Uh,
got
yeah, although
killed.
speaking of which, I was kind of left wondering since he realized he had gotten away with murder, why did he continue pushing the whole thing? Wasn't that just putting himself at risk of getting exposed?
Most
Most
of the people that
serial
do the
killers.
killing, they 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 end up wanting to be caught. It's a psychological thing. I mean, you watch all kinds of movies like that. The movie we watched not that long ago with Anthony Hawkins, and all those others. It's like they want to be caught. You know, it's they have this need to be caught. He wanted to be caught by someone. That doesn't mean he wants to go to prison. Just like him, he wanted to be caught. He wanted her to figure it out, but then he's like, well, he's gonna have to kill her because, she figured it out, and he was gonna kill her, and that was his plan. And the thing about it is, she saw it before she knew it was him too, because when she first fell, she saw her being hit with that flashlight. She saw the whole thing happen before it happened. She just didn't realize it was him happening, doing, and it was really gonna happen in a little bit. That's the thing with the ESP is sometimes you gotta try to figure out what they mean. They're not super always clear. You know,
Yeah.
I myself, like I said, I've seen like someone falling down the stairs, and they were like kind of heavy set to me, but I couldn't tell who it was, and I told my mother, and at the time we were living with a couple of people, and she was pregnant, so it turns out it was her, the pregnant lady. She actually did fall down the stairs, but her husband caught her because they were being super careful because I had told them what I saw.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't usually see like a vivid picture, super vivid picture, and know exactly what's going to happen. You kind of gotta figure out what you saw,
Uh, yeah.
which is why um, people with VSP aren't millionaires with the lottery because we can't see the numbers. It just don't work like that. My sister sees a lot of things happen. The other day, she was at my house. She was like, "Well, I can't see the lottery numbers." I'm like, you say the same thing. It's the way it goes.
But anyways, we have definitely uh, a situation going on where she has this dream, and she goes directly to the sheriff and tells him about it, and then she has kind of like a daytime dream while she's sitting there. Like after because he's telling her that whatever she's telling him is not a lot to go on, and she asks him a couple of questions, and it just so happens that Donnie Barksdale is right next to, uh, you know,
The fiddler,
yeah,
Mr. Fiddler.
yeah, the fiddler, right next to the fiddler's place of residence. And so they go and go to. She sees the pond and a few other things on the property, and so they go to the property, and they actually have permission from Valerie to search it.
And of course,
Um,
they tell her, "Oh, we'll just be there a few minutes," and she's there for a few hours. And
Oh
I
yeah.
can't fucking believe that all those people standing there, the cops and everything, that they allowed him to go all the way there and punch her. That was so fucked up.
Oh, indeed.
And the first
oh,
one to react was our murderer, I'd punch him out.
Yeah, interesting point. I forgot
Isn't
it was
it?
him.
Well, you
Uh,
don't think about that because you find out later that he was the murderer, but at that time you just think he's being a good friend or whatever, and he's probably punching him out, not just to help her, but because he was sleeping, he had slept with his girlfriend, and he had to kill his girlfriend because of it. Yeah, so he wanted to punch him out.
yeah,
Because we find out later that he knew they were sleeping together. You know, that's why he ended up choking her to death.
indeed.
Well, and the father, well, there was a moment where we actually see the daughter with the father, and she's giving him. Tammy and I both think that there
The kiss on
might
the
have been
lips.
something going on with her and Daddy.
The kiss on the lips.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
never
think there was any.
kissed my
I
kid
don't think
like
there was anything going on. I've seen that before, and it's just some weird families do stuff like that.
Wait, sorry. Who kissed who? I forgot.
The Katie Holmes character kissed her father on the lips, and in most circles that's not correct. But like I said, I've known of a few that do that. It's
I
weird, but it's not it's
I
not it's not socially accepted for a father and a daughter or a mother and a son or
yeah.
whatever to kiss on the lips.
I
To me, if it
completely
were just a
missed
quick peck
that.
on the cheek, if it were
When,
a quick peck on the cheek,
but
I would accept it as a father-daughter
or,
kiss,
or the forehead.
but
or the forehead. But
at which point did
she
that
didn't just
happen?
smack him on the lips. She actually deeply kissed him.
Oh, I know. Well, not super deep, but yeah, definitely deeper than you would kiss a father.
But at which point did that happen? That
At the
completely.
at the country club
Yeah, at the country club.
when he came over, the father came over to ask his daughter to dance, and that's when she got up, she kissed him, and
Oh,
yeah,
jeez. I
Kissed him like
somehow
she
missed
would
that.
another John.
yeah, kissed him like she would have the other one, the other
Suitors.
guys. She well, I wouldn't say suitor because suitors means that you're gonna date them. She was just busy, getting some.
Okay, other dudes that she was gonna fuck. That's
Exactly. Friends with
uh,
benefits. Friends with benefits. And we don't know all the people she was having sex with. We just know the DA and Danny, but who else? Who knows?
but yeah, they dragged the lake, and of course Donnie Barksdale drives his truck roughly in, bitches at his wife, comes over and
Yells at the sheriff that she doesn't talk for him because he said we had permission. And he's like, "She, you thinks that idiot can talk for me?" And then walks over and punches her and doubles her over. So yeah, it was a good hit.
yeah, I'm sure I'm a little annoyed at the police work here too, because you get the cops showing up when okay, I'm not sure if this was. I think this was before this, where her house was messed up and
Yes,
Sam was on the bed.
yes, that was the deputy. That was the deputy that did that. It was like, oh, I know him, and I don't think he broke into the house. So he was just protecting his friend. He didn't give a shit about the law, just protecting his friend, which is what they do in those small towns. That's that's
uh,
that's real.
They do them here too. They do them in every department.
I mean, yeah, but it's worse in the small towns because they're all friends with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody knows everybody. Like like the cops will just bend over backwards and sometimes even help with someone murdering someone because they're friends. You know, it's not saying there isn't police corruption in big cities. Oh yeah, definitely. But I'm saying it's
Because
not
he's a
corrupt.
good old boy.
It's not corrupted like that. Yeah, that's what I always say. Yeah, it's not corrupted like that. That's a different kind of corruption. That's a good old boy corruption. That's what I call it.
But yeah, so there's definitely some questionable police work going on here, or how we think cops should act. Um,
Oh,
like,
okay. They should act the way they should. They should act like law-abiding citizens that are upholding the law. You know, but how they really act, you know, like I said, they portrayed the cops pretty, you know, probably pretty well. Unfortunately,
well, they
Yeah.
drag the pond a little bit more, and they find the
they
body of the
did. They
girl.
did do a good job of actually finding the body.
Yep, they found the body of the
I
girl.
liked how they made the suspense when he thought it was her, and it was a bicycle, and then when he really did find her, there was hardly any suspense. Yeah, like they used it on the bike, and then they didn't use it again. I think that was kind of cool the way they did it.
Yeah.
It was like
Indeed.
so much suspense, like you could hear a pin drop. It was so silent until they saw the bicycle, you know. And then when she
Yeah.
was actually found, oh yes, the fiance broke down and cried again. Good actor. I mean,
So,
he did a great job of trying to set up Donnie. You know,
so of course we get Annie speaking to the lawyer, and the lawyer's like, "Well, I've got everything all wrapped up like a nice, pretty bow, but the only person I'm worried about is you." Uh, Partially because you're the one that led the police with your all God-given talents to to the scene of the crime, and the public will not look on this kindly. Um, and so we do have that part going on where the lawyer thinks she might be an issue because of the fact that she has these talents that not a whole lot of people believe in.
Yeah, actually, I must say when we realized that the DA was the same person Jessica was having sex with, I thought that he would turn out to be the killer, but yeah, apparently I was wrong. But like I said, throughout a longer part of the movie, he was my primary suspect.
sucker.
Yeah, that was actually because at first they made you think it was Donnie, then they made you think it was the
No,
lawyer,
and
then they made you then they didn't because Annie.
they did make it look like the wife, Johnny's wife, a couple of times, but yeah, they did not Valerie. But Donnie, no, he was just a douchebag.
Yeah.
Well, of course, then you have the trial where you have
So the thing is, in
the
that trial, they never proved anything, and they just always said, "Oh, he was arrested for murder." I'm like, okay. They never showed it. Like, I mean, yeah, he was an asshole, and yeah, he burst it out in court, and he went to attack her, and yeah, he definitely did stuff he shouldn't have done, but you know, they never proved he murdered. So yeah.
well, during the trial, the prosecutor actually was pretty harsh on her, on Annie. Once she got up on the
You mean
stand.
With
you
the
mean the lawyer? Not the
Yeah,
prosecutor. The defender. Defendant.
that was
yeah.
yeah.
Of course he was, because he wants to win the case for his good old boy client. And lawyers
So,
don't care.
Tammy,
Lawyers don't care if people are innocent or guilty. They care about
what
winning.
did you think about that trial?
First,
The trial?
Yeah,
Well, it's definitely, you got all these people that were definitely really against Yano's character, and then or you definitely had a great amount that were against the psychic. Was but neither side was really proving a damn thing.
exactly.
It was nobody understands that the psychic thing that she could not on a will just
Especially
do
now with
things.
all those people there.
You know, they didn't understand it doesn't work like that. It's not. She just wills it to work, and it automatically works. And then Yano's character, for him having the reputation he has, and people seeing his wife beat up and stuff all the time and seeing his actions. Well, of course, right away they're all against him. They all think he did it.
Mm,
So it was quite a interesting situation that you might want to.
yeah, and one part of it I found kind of interesting one was when he was admitting all his wrongdoings, but then saying that he didn't kill that woman. So that kind of left me wondering if at that point he genuinely learned something from the shit he was doing, or if he was just saying it to look good and uh, be done with it.
Well, yeah, like that dude tried to prove that. Well, you even said that he's this and this, but not a killer. You know that the
Uh,
psychic said that about him, and then
yeah.
that she admitted to his wife. Well, you said this and this about him, but you even admitted that he's not a killer. You know,
And
Uh,
she never accused him of killing, of killing, of killing her. She only said that's what the body was in the vault. She
right?
never said it
uh,
was him that dragged and dropped the body there.
And she tried to say that too. That I never said that he did it. I said this is where the body was.
And of course, Donnie just completely blamed her, and
uh, yeah, but I mean, I was left wondering. It wasn't explained in the end once Donnie was presumably released when the real killer was found. Was he going to actually change for the better after what happened to
Oh
him,
we
no,
or
we,
he's
we,
not going to change for the
we
better.
don't know, but most likely no.
uh,
Sometimes a leopard can never change its stripes.
Spots.
mm, yeah.
Leopards have spots. Zebras have stripes.
Anyways, so after the trial, um, and we hear on the news that Donnie Barksdale has in fact been indicted for the murder, but that's when I believe she starts to have more daytime dreams. Like, oh, I think it's she has a daytime dream of her grandmother,
Y-
her mother, which is her kid's grandmother's.
Actually, I thought that was her grandmother,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Aunt May
uh,
was her grandmother.
and somehow she actually
She
left
called her
those
grandmother.
fruits there even after she disappeared.
Yeah, she's like, "How are you here?" And she's like, "Oh, it's just a short walk."
They kept calling her
He
granny,
basically
so
told
it
her a
turns into
storm
her
was coming.
grandmother.
Yeah, and she's like, "No, no, it's clear." And all of a sudden, the sky gets really dark, and that was cool. That was definitely cool. I like
Uh,
that.
I think the thing that I will take from this film is when she actually sees the body of the girl like up in that tree, looking down at her with that one fucking eye.
Right.
Uh, is when she starts to haunt her even more. Is when she starts to think and realize that okay, maybe the wrong man is behind bars. You know.
Yeah.
I do think she does go and uh, visit the fiance. Uh, and my God, is that place a slavish mess? Uh, when if you'd have walked into that place, you'd have walked right back out?
No,
uh,
I've seen worse.
yeah, same here. I've seen worse too.
Oh,
It's
you know people who are even worse Slavs?
Yes.
yes. Okay, it's not a nice sight, but yeah, I have seen worse in real life.
Okay,
Like
doesn't mean
the kind of places where you're like, if I sit down, is something gonna bite me?
yeah, and I've seen worse too, but in reality, is it really normal to walk into a messy place?
Yep.
Well, it's not common, but I have known a few people whose places looked like that or worse.
Oh, I don't think it's very common for places to be spotless either. So you know.
Yeah.
Tammy, you come from a different point of view. Are you used to people having their places neat and spotless?
I'm used to my place being neat and spotless, but that'll change 15 years ago.
Well, I know I'm not necessarily a neat person, but I am an organized person.
You are far from a person.
Organized,
Organized, yes.
organized.
There is a such thing as an organized mess.
Okay, guys. Okay,
Show
guys.
us your
I know you can't
background.
see his camera right now, but if you remember, there's crates and crates and crates of movies behind his chair. But
And
he's
those are organized in A to Z order.
yeah, and we're gonna find him buried under his A to Z order one day.
Yep, when they all fall over
Exactly.
because he doesn't know how to stack things properly.
Nope.
I know how to
And
stack
and
things.
when it falls over, does anyone say "Spudaw"?
The people that find his body.
Thankfully, when they have fallen
Maybe
over,
Tammy.
I haven't
Yeah,
been.
we just hope that the cat ain't in there.
Maybe Tammy should go walk in like, oh, wow.
She could, right? Tammy,
I do
remember
think
that
it's more
next
common
time.
to walk into a Slavish
Yeah,
pigsty.
that poor cat might lose all 9 lives at once.
So it's not normal to walk into a spotless place for you, bro.
No. Spotless? No. Clean, yes. Spotless? No.
Oh, my place was never spotless. It was clean though. You know,
You just think that your home should be in a better homes and gardens. That's
David,
all.
David, David, don't even start that
There's
because
nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
I've never wanted it to be that way, and he pulls the shit all the time. Especially when I want him to
Your
get
room looks like
clean.
yeah.
I have never
Your room
wanted
looks
it
like
to.
it belongs on an auction house, one of those antique shows.
I've never wanted it to
I
look like the
guarantee you,
bedrooms and
you
garden.
walk into this.
Or you're about to move and you've gotten everything in boxes so you can move.
I've never wanted my place to be that spick and span, and he annoys the hell out of me every time he makes that comment. To the point where I'm going to buy one of them magazines and I'm going to shove it up his ass.
You're gonna need a few magazines. I've seen the ass, unfortunately, way more than I want to. We're still on the air too.
But in any case, let's get back
No,
to
my mom kept my great grandparents' place. I admit basically did look like it, but Nana and Papa had a few bucks. They had a cleaning lady that came in. Nana, my great grandma, took care of cleaning, keeping things up to date. For the most part. But then she would come in and put everything kind of like spotless. And because Nana and Papa even had a room that was considered like just for company, and like the carpet was like a whitish, almost white, but it was like a little tint of a gray, and there was a couch that was white in it, and stuff, and and it had like a white marble fireplace, and it's like you didn't want to even step one foot into that thing because you were afraid if there was one little speck of dirt on your shoe, you know, in that room. but they, that's how they were, they were like I said, they were my great grandparents, and that's how they kept things. And my grandmother basically, for the most part, it was that way too. Now, mom was pretty close. That's why I said, don't ever, ever say that I wanted my place like that because no, I did not. I just wanted it neat.
anyways. So we have um, Annie walking into this messy ass place to speak to uh, the school teacher and fiance of this dead girl, and they look like they're going to have a moment, but they don't really don't. And I believe it's not now, but it's a little bit later that he actually shows up at her place. And he's like pushing her to try to use her gift to maybe
We first asked for a reading,
yep.
and then he comes up with let's go to the lake where we found the body and stuff, and she's like she didn't want to, and he was just like, oh, but I can't live with this, and blah blah, blah, and
And didn't we skip the scene with Buddy?
probably.
There is a scene with Buddy in between hand because Buddy tries to
Yeah, with
at the steps of
his
the
father.
courthouse. At the steps of the courthouse, he tries to talk to her and get her to help
Yeah,
him, like
before he goes to burn his father, yes. And
because he's going.
that's where he says, "I need help." I think about my father and I play with myself.
I think he said I touch myself.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
I gotta say something about that. I just heard this from a doctor the other day. Bill Clinton um, fired his was it not the person in charge of medical? I can't think of the name of it. In the White House, um, fired her because she wrote a paper or she answered a reporter that said that masturbation is completely normal. This who did all kinds of things that we all heard about fired her for saying that. Messed up.
Mm,
Of course, it's
yeah.
not normal. Anyone who says otherwise is okay.
Well, and I believe it's Buddy's mom who calls Annie about him him actually like
Yes, yes, it
going
is.
going off the rails, and he's got his
I
father.
thought I thought she said he was gonna kill himself on the phone. And when they got there, I was like, "Oh no, he's gonna kill his father." Well, he was whipping him anyways at that point.
Mm, yeah. And actually, I must say, otherwise, in movies or TV shows, when someone is taking justice into their own hands, and then everyone goes like, "No, don't do this," blah 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 blah. It kind of annoys me that they never actually killed the asshole who deserves to get killed. So in this case, I was glad that he set his
I
father
don't
on
think he
fire.
was killed. We never saw him die. He was on
Uh,
fire, but he wasn't dead.
Yeah, but I mean, at least Buddy went through with it. He didn't let himself get stopped.
Well, he did get caught. He was arrested and then put in a mental facility, and then, as we found out later, he hung himself. So,
Unfortunately, yeah.
but we didn't learn that until after we get Annie, who uh, is asked to by the school teacher. I've got to get his name too here real quick.
Wayne.
Wayne Collins is his name. So Wayne shows up. He asks her for a reading. She does so, but she's not getting anything. And this is the second time he's asked her whether if he takes her to the scene or the pond or whatever, if she will see anything thing more. So she does. At first, she's like, now, because I mean, thankfully her
Mm,
kids are somewhere else. I think she actually called where her kids were and was like, okay, can my kids stay where you are?
Uh,
And
Actually, I must say her decision to go out that night didn't make much sense to me because Wayne knew that she was psychic and all that, so she could have told him that she had a vision that someone was going to attack her that night, and she could have said, "Why don't we go tomorrow?" But instead of saying that, she still
she
accepted.
gave in to what he wanted because he was pushy. He wanted her to
Uh,
right now, right this moment, go with him to this place. And though it was
y-
raining
Yeah,
and it
but
was
uh,
late,
uh, but
she even said
she didn't
she
even suggest why wouldn't we go tomorrow?
she didn't
Is
suggest tomorrow, but she did put up a complaint about going. It's too late, you know. So
yeah, she did say that.
I mean, but it's too late. Why? It's too late. I'm tired. Why now? Because then we can get it done and over with, or something like that. So she
But
decided to go with him.
yeah,
She
but
actually does
She could have told him that she had a vision that someone was going to attack her, and that was the reason why she didn't want to go.
At this point in time, she had a reason not to trust this guy.
Yeah, but she had a vision that someone was going to attack her, so she
No,
could.
she didn't have a vision that someone was going to attack her. There was a shadow outside the house that was coming around the house. That wasn't a vision. That was someone coming upon her unbeknownst to her.
In that
She did.
argument, she does say that she has her kids, but this was after she had already said, asked the neighbor or whoever it was for
He's
the kids to stay
he's
over. So
he's
so it's very weird that she says that, because then she does go with him. So it's like, it seemed like she said that because she didn't want to go, because we already knew that the kids weren't there. She was lying, but she still went anyway. So I don't know. It was just kind of weird. I just want to point that out.
well. She said that, or actually Boris was saying that she had a vision of someone attacking her. I
Well,
don't.
before that, yeah.
She and is saying that.
Yeah, she told the district attorney guy that she had a vision of someone attacking her, and that's why she wanted the case to be reopened.
The flashlight.
No, the flashlight wasn't until they got to the they got to the place, to Donnie's place. She
See,
saw him being attacked. She saw her being attacked by the flashlight that he was carrying, but she didn't think anything of it. I guess, I don't know.
yeah. Well, he is saying that she had that attack vision before
No,
dude suggested for them to go.
no, wasn't before. Not that one.
So she couldn't have actually said that she was having a vision of people attacking.
She could have lied that she was
No reason. She had no reason to not trust this school psychologist.
Although she did say that she had her kids, and she didn't. So
I'm just saying she couldn't have without having that vision first. So the vision that you're talking about her being attacked happened
later.
afterwards. So she couldn't have told them, "Hey, I was attacked. Can we do this tomorrow?" In my dreams.
Yeah, that's kind of my point.
Yeah, but she couldn't have, since the dream attack did not happen until after they were there. After they actually had gotten to the pond again. So, but in any case, so she does decide to go with Wayne, and they get there, and she notices a couple of spots that give her that vision, the vision of being attacked by the flashlight before it happens. At that point in time, I would have said, "Fuck this! I'm turning back around," but she didn't. She actually. That's when he. And shortly after that is when he smacked her with the flashlight, and said he's glad that she knows now, and all that jazz. I was wondering if you were going to figure it out or not.
No, he's like, I knew you'd figure it out if I brought you closer to the scene where it happened.
I almost think that he wishes that she wouldn't have been the one to figure it all out, because I think in his mind, if he got the chick out of the way, that then he would have been able to go out with her. In fact, he said something to that effect.
Yeah, he said this wouldn't have happened if we were together with her.
Yeah. But she has a vision of Wayne actually showing up and talking
Buddy.
to the chick that died.
You mean Buddy?
Well,
Uh,
she
y-
has a vision of Buddy, but she also has a vision of Wayne showing up to the dead chick, and she's
Oh yeah, yeah. She has a vision of him killing her and everything. Yeah.
and saying that I only went out with you because you know my daddy.
No, because my daddy likes you. I'm only with
Yes,
you because my daddy likes you. Because she's like, how can you do this to me? And she's like, well, he's at least he's a real man. And then she's then typical fucking whore.
yeah.
and then of course, uh, at first it's like it goes back and forth with Buddy showing up.
No, Buddy shows up
'Cause-
when he goes to kill her. When he goes to smack her with the flashlight again, and
yeah,
Buddy stops him.
and then Buddy helps to put him in her car, and then he's in the car while she's taking him to the police. And then, of course, that's when she
At that
talks.
moment, I'm thinking, wait, if he's gonna ride with her, how is he gonna get his vehicle later? Because I assumed he drove there, because that was before I realized he was dead. I realized it before she was told he was dead, like a couple minutes before, but at that point I hadn't figured it out yet. I thought he really was there.
Yeah, and it's just so sad to hear from the lead detective, the sheriff, or whatever, that he
I
at 6
wasn't a
o'clock
bit
that day.
surprised though. I wasn't a bit
Uh,
surprised.
yeah, when they were in the car, I kind of had a feeling that something was strange, that maybe he is a ghost, but I wasn't sure, but something felt
And
a
he
bit
and
wrong.
he, and he gave her back the handkerchief too. He's like, "Oh, I washed it," and she wiped her eyes with it and stuff. And yeah,
Tammy, when you
Hmm.
first saw this, did you realize that his character was Buddy was a ghost?
Uh, you mean at the end there?
Yeah,
Um,
Uh, he
not
seemed.
at first, but then when the sheriff dude or whatever kept saying, "Well, no, that's impossible," and and the way he was looking at her, and then he kept trying to say, "Well, no, that couldn't have happened that way," and I'm sitting,
yeah, that's when I figured it out too. Like the first time the sheriff said no, I was like, "Oh, maybe he's a ghost. Maybe he's a ghost."
Uh, Yeah, I was kind of suspecting in the car already because he was acting more normal than his usual self. Not
That is
he,
true.
he did.
I didn't think of that. I thought maybe he just got some help at the hospital.
Uh, yeah, well, I wasn't sure, but I did have a suspicion about it. And then when she left the car, and there was that close up on his face with some mysterious music in the background, uh, that was also leaving me wondering what was happening.
oh yeah. But
Mm,
I believe that's we're at the end of this um, movie. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to add before we go into, you know, the production?
I don't think so. I think I've said everything I could think of.
Okay. Then let's go into production. Uh, Tammy, did you want to say anything about production and what you thought about it?
So we're not gonna do favorite scenes.
We do
That,
favorite scenes after
that comes,
production.
No,
yeah.
I don't want to do that way. I'm just kidding.
Um, I thought the production was pretty decent. This is like I said, this is another one of those movies that didn't need any actual CGI or anything like that. I mean, yes, we see her visions and her dreams or whatever, but they're visions and dreams. Other than that, there really wasn't, there wasn't any reason for any CGI or things like that. And it was very, it seemed very realistic. Um, I like you had a variety of different characters. Everybody it seemed like they each had their own um things that were wrong in their lives. You know, and just trying to get by. So it didn't seem like it was anything out of the ordinary, and I think that's what I liked about it. It seemed for real. I
Mm,
think everybody did a good. All the actors, actresses did a good job in their parts. So
Okay. What about you, Kroll? What did you think about the production?
What she said.
Exactly what she said.
Pretty much. I mean, there's nothing special about it. Everything looked the way it was supposed to look. The ghosts, they were just. Yeah, I mean, okay, the aunt is the grandmother's dead, but still, they just had the actress walk in like she just had a normal part, so there was no needed CGI or anything. So it was a good movie. I mean, the actors and actresses were phenomenal. I mean, they sold everything out. I mean, they didn't need anything as far as production goes because they had an amazing cast.
Okay.
mm. I thought the production was pretty good too. Yeah, for the most part, maybe it didn't require any special effects or CGI, except for one thing which I found pretty impressive the way it was done. The vision she had of Jessica's body being on the tree but underwater at the same time. That was, to me at least, pretty impressively done. Uh, and
Okay.
what else? Well, yeah, all the visions were pretty well done, but that one kind of stood out to me.
Which one?
The one with Jessica's body being on the tree but being underwater at the same time.
Yeah, I I liked that. Um, I thought the effects were pretty good in this movie myself. Um,
Yeah,
as far as the dreams go, those were pretty wicked, at least for this time period of 2000. So,
cool.
um, as far as production goes, I thought that you know for being a a story that involved kind of a small town murder and someone who can predict the future. it definitely wasn't bad. It made it believable, and you know, there's always kind of who done itness about this movie, so that's kind
Yeah.
of what I like about it. Like it points fingers, at least in your first time watch, and yeah. So, did we want to talk about the music? Did anyone real? Oh, one thing I did want to say is that one of the writers behind this movie was actually Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh.
Guy who played Bad Santa.
Interesting.
Christopher Young did the music for this movie, and I guess he's kind of known for being the composer of Sinister, Swordfish, Entrapment, being behind the remake of The Grudge.
Oh, interesting.
And of recent ones, he was behind a movie called The Empty Man, and The Monkey King 2, among other films. I mean, he's definitely the composer behind Deliver Us from Evil, Medea Christmas, The Ghost Maker, Sinister, yep, Priest, The Rum Diary, which was a Johnny Depp movie. I guess he was the composer behind Gone with the Pope. Drag Me to Hell and The Uninvited.
Drive Me to Hell was good.
Ghost Rider.
I liked it.
The Core. The Glass House. Hellraiser Resurrection. Bless the Child. The Hurricane, Urban Legend, Rounders, Hush, Set It Off, Copycat, Virtuosity, Species, Tales from the Hood. That one's kind of a big one in the anthology. But in any case, let's go into favorite scenes and our favorite character. So let's start with you, Ron. Who was your favorite character or characters or favorite scenes?
As far as yeah, I guess Annie's my favorite character, but I really liked Buddy. I mean, he was nuts, but he was a good friend to her. I mean, yeah, he wasn't perfect with her, but he was nuts. So I really like this character, and the actor did such a tremendous great job. So I have to put that out there. And my favorite scene is definitely when he stops the stops Danny from picking on the kid. He's like has a hole, and he's like telling him, like you okay? And the kid's like, he's telling me that mom's a witch and they're gonna burn her, and he just grabs the crowbar, and Danny's like, my buddy, mind your business, and Buddy's like, I am, like, that's his friend, he
And
comes over and he just starts smashing the truck and
put down.
and all, and then you think the driver would have drove away then, but no, he doesn't. And then Danny pulls a gun on him, and he just walks up, pushes his head against the gun, and just yells, and pull it, pull it, pull it, shoot me, And it was an awesome scene. It was just like he's so fucking nuts, and you don't want him to die, but he's just so fucking like crazy, like he doesn't care, So, um, yeah, so it, it's great. It's a great scene. But I do want to mention another scene that not my favorite scene, but the worst scene where Keanu Reeves is such an asshole and how much you like. Oh my god, he's such a fucking villain. Is when he busts into her house and shoves her down and grabs his wife and starts dragging her by the hair out of the house. That was such a horrible scene. It was a great scene as far as actors go, and as far as them, cinematically speaking, it was a great scene. But every other way, it was just a horrific scene to see that some guy coming into his house and shoving a woman and just treating his wife like that. It was horrible. But you just have to mention that scene because it was so well acted and played out in the scene in the movie. So
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. What about you, Boris?
My favorite character was Buddy. Yeah, as Kroll says, okay, Kroll pretty much summed it up. Mostly all the scenes with him were great, like his confrontation with Donnie, and in the end when he saved Annie from Wayne too. But my personal favorite scene was actually when he set his father on fire because that incestuous pedophile rapist really fucking deserved it. And throughout the movie, that was probably the scene when I was cheering the most. Uh, 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 when he actually, I don't know, did he drop the lighter or what did he do? But when the father actually started to burn, I was like, yes! So that's probably my favorite scene.
Okay. What about you, Cammy?
I guess favorite actor, of course, be and um, but favorite scene is when she has that vision, and she sees, sees her murder, sees her dead, and and it's she's drowned, but yet she's in the tree, and that whole thing was really neat, So I guess that's
Okay.
that's my favorite scene. And I guess my second one, even though it's kind of morbid, is you know when dude sets his dad, is going through that whole thing and set his dad on fire. It's kind of morbid, but it's like it is one hell of a scene.
I did have
Uh,
to mention afterwards.
the morbid thing is what the father did to him, what Buddy did to him in return was well deserved, if you ask me.
It was still morbid, whether it was deserved or not. It was still morbid. I'm not saying it wasn't deserved. I'm saying it was morbid.
Okay, fair enough.
I did want to point out another scene that has not been mentioned. I'm sure Dave will probably mention it, but I'll put it out first. The Katie Holmes 6. Yep. Thank you. That is all.
Okay.
Brief but nice.
Well, my trying to think. I think my favorite scene is when uh chick chick comes to her and she's in the tree and she's right above her and I just keep seeing her open eye. It's like when read Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart, and you read about the great lidless eye that you know that dude buries the old man underneath the house, and um, days later he keeps hearing the open and shutting of the eyelids, or as well as the ticking of the heart. So um, that type of thing just haunts me. I don't know. As far as favorite character, I'm gonna have to say Keanu Reeves.
Holy
Only,
shit!
only because this was in fact the only
Keanu Reeves
role
did
that
an
I have
awesome
ever
job, but
seen
his
him.
character was a douche.
It's the only role that I have seen where he's actually a mean guy.
Yes, the actor did a great job, but the character's a douche.
The character I hate, but
But you just said it's your favorite character.
it's also my favorite character because he does it so well.
No, the actor may be your favorite actor, but not the character. There's a difference.
Yeah.
You're right. Probably my favorite actor. As far as my favorite character, I would have to say Annie. Um, Specifically for the fact that uh, especially since she, uh, as an actress, went on to play in Lord of the Rings as the
Galadriel.
Queen. Yep, that was Galadriel.
I know.
So, um,
And she doesn't look, she looks so gorgeous as Galadriel, but in this one, I mean, she's okay looking, but she doesn't look gorgeous, you know?
well, and this was definitely earlier than the Lord of the Rings movies. So, um,
2001.
but yeah. Other than that, did anyone else have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Alrighty. Well, hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you enjoyed our discussion on this film. Like, share, and subscribe. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of the movie and what you thought of our discussion. And then we'll definitely see you back here next week. Now, you would have been after Tammy, right, Crow?
What?
You would have been after Tammy's turn, correct?
No, I'm,
Next week?
yeah, I guess.
Okay. Because Tammy wants to go to a car show next week, where she won't actually be here, so she's going to lose a turn, and you're up next. So,
So why don't you just go after me?
that's if she doesn't, because it's car show season. She may choose to go to another car show the following week. I don't know yet.
Well,
So,
why don't we just plan on it that Kroll goes next week, and if I don't have anything else going on, I'll go the week after. We'll just
Well,
switch.
I wasn't expecting to pick a movie, so I don't have one yet.
well, you can get. I'll ask you mid-week. Something.
I'll let you guys know by tomorrow.
Huh?
I'll let you guys know by tomorrow, probably tonight.
Okay. Sounds good.
Are you
In any
okay with?
case,
Are you okay with switching then?
Follow me.
Okay.
alrighty. So, folks, we will definitely be back next week with another film, and we'll see you then. So, same time, same bat channel. So, everyone say good night and good afternoon.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone.
Good day. I said good day.
Hoot hoot.